Hello, and welcome back to The Fool's Journey. Where we last left off, the fool found himself in front of the High Priestess, who gave him some interesting advice, which was to trust his instincts more and not have any doubts. After receiving this advice, the High Priestess pointed in the direction of town, and the fool went on his way. As the fool is traveling, he eventually comes across a path that leads into town. While traveling down this path, he starts to see the town come into view. Buildings were not too close, but not too far. He could smell all sorts of freshly baked goods and meats. Behind the town was a decent-sized castle overlooking everything. Needless to say, the fool was impressed. As the fool is venturing into town, he can't help but notice four things sticking out. A woman holding two swords trying to decide which is right for her, but she's not actually looking at the swords. A performer standing on one leg tossing pentacles up in the air trying to catch them. A couple who appear to be getting married and positioning their arms to drink from cups that they're holding. And finally, a man standing in between two large wands, looking out into the distance. These are the minor arcana governed by the High Priestess, and because of that, some of the attributes associated with the High Priestess can be found in the minor arcana of twos. The Two of Swords is about decision-making, or lack of decision-making. Trying to keep in the middle because sometimes we're afraid of making hard choices because we don't want to make the wrong choice. It's walking on eggshells, but we have to remember that we can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs. Avoidance gets us nowhere. The reverse side of this card is pure fear and indecision. Being overwhelmed by the choice presented and giving into anxiety. With the Two of Swords, we have to trust ourselves and know that we're doing what's best, regardless of what fear and anxiety tells us. The Two of Pentacles is maintaining balance throughout your life. We juggle thoughts, feelings, work, romance, and more throughout our lives, and maintaining that balance is important, or else we'd lose it all. This is also a reminder that we have the strength to handle all that comes our way if we focus on it. In reverse, however, we're looking at a lack of balance, and sometimes a break is needed to get back to where you were. The reverse Two of Pentacles is a reminder that you don't have to do everything at once or try to hold everything together when you're at your breaking point. Put something down and do what you can handle. While the Two of Pentacles is about balance, it's also knowing when your balance is off and it's time for a break. The Two of Cups is significant because in most decks, it's represented by the idea of marriage, and we have to remember that marriage originally wasn't a unification of love. It was a business transaction between families to keep the bloodline going and obtain land. In this case, the Two of Cups is reaching an agreement and understanding on a logical and emotional level, saying that you thought things through before going forth. In reverse, we're looking at emotions being in control of decisions and not listening to that inner voice of guidance. The Two of Cups in reverse urges us to take a step back and get in control over our emotions. Otherwise, whatever agreement and understanding that's trying to be met won't be. The Two of Wands is sometimes seen as having two paths you can take. This is a card of thought before action, being in the planning stages before setting off on an adventure. While Wands have that fiery, ready-to-go passion, it is imperative to look before you leap and remember that the grass isn't always greener on the other side. This is why the planning stage is so important. In reverse, we're looking at being stuck in the planning stages and not actually doing. More than that, long-term goals aren't even set up yet. So it's talking the talk without walking the walk. We have to remember that effort must be put into anything we want to do and all those things we want to achieve. Planning is great, but it's ultimately meaningless if you're not going to go forth with said plans. The fool took in everything he was seeing, the indecisiveness, the juggling too much, agreements that go beyond love, and the planning for something grand. He realizes that these are very real things that he may and already has come across on his journey so far. He knows he has to put more trust in himself and not beat himself up if things don't go according to plan. And if he stalls for too long, then he'll flip a coin and go in the direction it lands. The fool smiles to himself, feeling as though he's achieved an understanding of himself more as he continues down the path heading towards the castle, excited for what awaits him next. And this is where we will end it for now. Thank you all for joining the Fool on his continuous journey, and if you enjoyed, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button for more Unexplained Possibilities content. Also, be sure to follow us on social media. Those links can be found in the description below. With that said, I will be seeing you on the next leg of the Fool's journey.